Hello and welcome back to this same episode of Inside Voices First Takes. You've seen the movie, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because if you haven't, you shouldn't be here.
You need to go.
This is it's seriously, we're not joking around about this one. This is the one where we're going to talk about the spoilers for Infinity War. So if you haven't seen it, do yourself a favor, don't watch this. Watch our other excellent video that has no spoilers whatsoever.
Click the link below.
But if you've seen the movie, this is where we're going to get into the real shit right now about Infinity Wars.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be. I hope they remember you.
Oh, yeah.
Colin. Game over. It's all done.
Almost literally over.
Game over. Avengers, game over. That's really what the movie should have been. Thanks for playing, everybody.
Oh, I loved it. Loved it, Colin. I loved it.
The chains are off. No holds barred.
No holds barred. Tell me what you think.
Well, let's start with the beginning, okay? So after the happy-go-lucky feel of Thor Ragnarok, woo, did that go away right into Infinity War? Pretty good way to start the movie by introducing stakes and direness, but still having one moment of humor when we have a Hulk returned. Of course, the great line, punching Thanos, but then getting his ass kicked. What'd you think of that opening scene with Loki and Thor and Hulk?
I thought it was fine. I mean, at that point, I was expecting it to be pretty run-of-the-mill. That scene was. I liked the fact that they actually strangled Loki. Obviously, the last movie had built Loki from, the troublesome brother into more of a hero. He obviously was in full hero mode at the beginning of this movie, and that was nice. A nice payoff to his arc.
He got his redemption arc for sure. I agree.
For sure.
Rest in peace, Heimdall, who apparently can conjure a Bifrost with his hands, which is cool. That was a new thing.
Awesome. Pretty awesome. Yeah.
Which I think actually kind of goes back to a plot hole I thought the first Avengers had. When how did Thor show up if the Bifrost was destroyed? Oh, you can just summon it like that? Never mind. We answered that question.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Grasping at mythical straws, but okay. I mean, I'll give it to you.
Also, let's keep track. We should have like a kill count on the bottom of the screen. So far, we've got 2 people dead. We have Heimdall and Loki. So that's 2 so far. Put it in the corner.
Yeah.
2. Okay. All right. Let's get to the rest of
the and all the other people on the ship, at least half of them, when he blows it up. Killed a lot of people in that scene.
Right. We don't know what happened with Valkyrie. She was on the ship. I didn't see her body, so we don't know. Okay. Moving right along. Let's talk about the story. Obviously, Thanos is going after all 6 stones because he wants to. In his mind, he thinks basically there's overpopulation in the universe, and if it's left unchecked, all the resources will be gone, and people will starve, and that's what happened on his home planet. And he's just trying to prevent that in his mind, which is, kind of like Killmonger, Black Panther. You can kind of get where he's coming from because it happened to him personally. So he's just trying to prevent that. That's
I very much like Killmonger. I thought they did a pretty good job of convincing me that he's got a very good point.
He's very reasonable, especially in this.
Very reasonable.
Thank God Avengers Infinity War did this and not other MCU movies, but they showed like his past, and they showed us what happened. They did not just tell us and try to make us think we should, sympathize or empathize with this guy. They showed us what happened.
Well, they mostly told us. He sort of has a background of his original homeworld while he tells us.
Right. He narrated it, but also illustrated, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do not tell, Adam. We all know.
It could have been better, but we got the point. I mean, it was a very convincing point, so I didn't need to see too much.
I got to say something off the bat in terms of what actually struck me a lot when the end credits were rolling.
Mm-hmm.
I was stunned by more what they did not show than what we got in this final cut. I remember. Do you remember the trailer for this movie? There is a great group shot of them running to camera that has mostly the Wakandan Avengers fighting, but there's also Hulk in the back and all that. Mm-hmm. That's not in the movie. That the group heroic shot is not in the movie. There's a shot in the trailer of Thor after getting his new weapon lighting up like the factory or the place where they forged the new weapon, where the lightning and Rock and Groot are watching him. Not in the movie. Not in the movie.
Yeah. That shot presumably cut for time because not at all necessary.
Right. But this wasn't in the trailer. But I was surprised that they did not show Thanos getting the Power Stone at all in this movie. He just already had it, even though they set it up to in Guardians 1 it's on Xandar. I expected the movie to show that, like in a brief montage or a flashback or something. Nothing. So were you surprised by anything that was maybe left off?
Nope, none of that surprised me. I thought those were all good decisions. I didn't need to see him kill half of everyone on Xandar. Totally accept that he got it. No big deal. I liked starting back on Thor's ship because that's where we left things. And those were the first people that we would care about. We don't care about anybody on Xandar. We don't have the same kind of personal connection with them. We don't have the same kind of personal connection with them.
I would disagree.
I thought it was right.
We care about, I think, 2 Xandarians.
Who?
Given how Guardians 1 ended. Remember John C. Reilly coming home and he meets his wife and child because they're still alive after what happened? We should care if he's okay.
John C. Reilly's very cute. I didn't need to see John C. Reilly die.
Adam, come on.
Colin, did you not see enough people die in this movie? Is that really your main criticism? You needed more people to die in this movie right from the beginning?
They didn't show us anyone who died on Xandar, so they could still be alive. I don't know. The movie never told us.
Half of everyone. Who cares?
Okay.
It doesn't matter that much. The important thing was to establish, he can strangle a god. That's the important thing to establish. That was awesome.
God, but okay.
Well, whatever. Fine. An Asgardian.
Okay.
A Xandarian. Who knows? They're regular folk. Who cares? I mean, of course he can kill them. He's a big, powerful dude. But the fact that he can strangle Loki, just strangle him, that was a great way to start. That really established, this guy is not to be trifled with. And the best part of this whole movie to me was how they set up, this guy's so impossible to defeat. How are you going to get this guy? How are you going to get this guy? How are you going to... you're not. Of course you're not. Of course you're not. Well, I thought that was such an amazing thing for them to have done.
Well,
amazing.
I'm with you too. You're not, but you got very close. If they showed him not even getting close to stopping him, then this movie gets boring because it's well, then how could they actually ever stop him before he gets all 6?
Right. But, they had 2 shots to get him.
They had a really good shot at him. They were actually winning, and Mantis had the thing on the head. I'm like, this is fine. And then, Peter Quill, you screwed it up. You screwed it up,
because you couldn't control your temper. Great reason.
Why did Chris Pratt have to be the one to screw up? I love him.
Of course, Chris Pratt screwed it up. That's who he is. And fantastic. I totally bought that. I totally bought that he just couldn't keep it together in that scene. No, it was brilliant.
It was a good moment.
And then, Thor, it's a huge, uplifting surprise that his axe is able to penetrate Thanos. Amazing. Yeah. Man, you killed me. Should have gone for the head. Great line. So good.
I got 2 chill-inducing moments from the movie, goosebumps. First was when most of the Avengers that were fugitives showed up to help Scarlet Witch and Vision the first time around in the beginning. Mm-hmm. And then the second time is once Thor gets his new weapon and Bifrost down to Earth and uses it for the first time, and he just obliterates everybody. I was just like, oh, this movie's great. This movie's great. So like Thor and I think Thor and the Guardians and Thanos were like my personal MVPs in terms of like I think Star-Lord had well again I said Guardians so they I think had the most like good moments I thought not that everyone else had bad but they I think stole the show just a little bit more. What did you think of and again spoilers I don't want to give anything away.
This is the spoiler video.
I'm warning them again in case they missed it.
If they got this far, it's already been spoiled.
Whatever. What did you think of Red Skull being alive?
I don't care at all about Red Skull being alive. And I think that I was proven right by the ending of this movie. It didn't matter at all that he's alive. Who cares? First of all, I mean, number one, how? But number two, who cares at all?
I have to say,
I mean, first of all, there's no way that Red Skull's alive. So that's just dumb. But I don't care that he serves only to narrate that moment, and it's fine. He's a threshold guardian, and he's fine. Well, he looks good, so he was a good choice. But there's no way he's on that planet. That's dumb. But also, who cares? Because Thanos wins, so it doesn't matter who was alive in the middle of this movie.
Well, I disagree. First of all, I have a coworker who I debated about this with. He's like, no, Red Skull's alive. I'm like, no, he disintegrated from those cube. So I have to apologize to him. He was right. I was not.
But didn't he disintegrate, though? How did he not disintegrate?
Well, remember, the cube is a space portal. Apparently, it just transported him there. Now, the fact that planet happened to
transported him there?
Yeah.
What kind of sense does that make? Why?
It's a cube. It didn't have like coordinates. He just activated it accidentally, and that's where he got transported to. Don't think about it too much. Now, the fact that this planet had oxygen that he could breathe in, okay, that's something else entirely. But okay, whatever. He was guarding the Soul Stone, which, and again, that moment with him, Thanos and Gamora.
And how did that happen, Colin, if this all makes so much sense? How has he become the guardian of the Soul Stone?
Listen, there's no one else on that planet. You gotta do something.
Cursed. We all think that. Where's everyone else? How are you there? How did Thanos get this to work? Didn't seem that complicated. Did not seem that complicated to get the Soul Stone.
Red Skull couldn't get the stone because he had no one to sacrifice. He was just there by himself.
Maybe.
So he just had to sit there and wait. So
maybe.
So me before we and again we're gonna get to the ending in a minute. But I just want to say. The story was a little surprising to me still at times because I was predicting things based on the trailer of where it was going to go. Like I thought for sure the reason the Battle of Wakanda was happening was because that's what the Soul Stone was, and that's because it was the one we didn't, and that's why Thanos wanted to go there, and that's why the final battle was happening. Obviously, I was wrong. The movie surprised me. Okay.
The Mind Stone is there. That's why it's happening.
Right. Vision's there. And again, I thought the ending of this movie, if there were, since this is like another Avengers is coming. I thought this movie would maybe end like pessimistically, of course, but not as pessimistically as it did. Like I thought the movie would end once Thanos like put the sixth stone in his glove, and then it just kind of leaves you going, "Oh crap!" and then it would just end. But this movie,
I would have been furious if that was the end of this movie.
This movie takes it 20 steps further. It actually shows you the repercussions, and we have to applaud it for that. It had balls going there. Let's talk about the ending, Adam. What did you think of how everyone...
Best ending ever.
You think
Loved
so?
it.
Was there...
First of all, I have to tell you, it went to end credits in the movie theater where I was, and people yelled at the screen. People were furious in my movie theater.
In a good way, or like in a...
Well, I mean, not to them. To me, I was like, oh, good. They're into it.
Like
they're very into it.
Was it like
they were very upset that so many of their favorite, like, certainly people were very upset that Black Panther died. Like, people were very upset at all these deaths. But they were not. They're not like, oh my God, I can't believe it. They were like, no, what? Fuck this movie. Like, they were upset about it. And then that I could sympathize with. But then I just have to say, every single person in front, I was in the very back of the movie theater, and every single person in front of me screamed at the screen and then proceeded to take out their phone and start Facebooking the movie. And can I just say, in that moment, I said, oh, if I had that glove, These are the people who need to go. These people need to go. Oh my God! Can you not, people? Can you not ruin everything good in life?
Hashtag Thanos demands your silence, which, should have been implied. Yeah, we're doing a YouTube video, and we have stressed that this is spoiler rich, and so we've given everyone a warning. We're doing this the day after the movie.
We're the good guys here, of course. We're the good guys.
We're not tweeting the plot right after we saw it, so
we're respecting this thing.
I'm with you. I would have snapped my fingers too. My theater wasn't quite as mad, but there was kind of like a kind of a gasp, and kind of like, oh no. No, it was more like a sad depression.
Yeah, no. My theater was like, oh no. People yelled out like, wait for the end credit sequence. Wait for the end credits. And then we're like credits. And then there wasn't the first end credit sequence. It was just Infinity Wars again, blowing away. People were like, oh, fuck that title. Like, people were mad all over again. And then they had to wait till the honest to goodness end credit sequence. That part was very amusing to me, but I did not approve of all the Facebook and tweeting of this thing. Like, leave people alone. Can nobody enjoy this except you, the first night, people of the internet? Not you, our viewers. I should be clear. You're obviously wonderful people.
Inside voices,
you're watching us.
Yes.
You would never do something like that.
It should be commended magnificently. Not just how many deaths after Thanos gets all 6 stones happens, but like you said, like really important characters. Like, it wasn't like the supporting cast went away. It was Black Panther. It was Spider-Man's death. Oh, did that hurt?
Can I just say, thank God for that. Thank God.
Thank God.
Good. Oh, thank goodness. I find him very annoying. I'm glad he's gone.
Oh my God.
Gone. And that was his best moment. That was his best moment of the whole franchise. He really didn't want to die. That was touching. But
you thought he was annoying? That's why you wanted him gone?
Gone. I'm not gonna miss him. He had a great moment to go out on, and I ain't gonna miss him.
All right, Angry Bob, you can find Adam's apartment at bleep, 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 bleep. Yeah. I won't give away the home address.
16-year-olds, come at me, 16-year-olds.
Most of the Guardians gone. Like, Rocket lost Groot again. Only Nebula is left. And I for sure thought either Iron Man or Cap would die. Because their actor contracts are coming up. I thought for sure this was the way that, they were going to go. Mm-hmm. But they both are around. So I don't know where this is going to go. I thought for sure one of them was going to get offed. And so now they're both still around. And I literally was going, what? I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then even the end credit scene, Nick Fury and Maria Hill offed. But not before he sends out the distress signal. And I don't know if you looked it up, but do you know who he's calling or what that's alluding to?
I know who it is because 16 people looked it up instantly on their phones all around me, and I could not hear them tell me that it's Captain Marvel. Whoever that is, thank God. Then I plugged my ears because I don't want to know who Captain Marvel is, but apparently it's Captain Marvel.
Well, she's getting her own movie in March of next year before Avengers 4. Which is supposedly going to be like her origin movie because apparently it takes place in the 90s. But this will show like where she's been and why she's being called in now. But based on what I know about Captain Marvel, and I'm not going to give away like what she can do, but she's like a cosmic. She's like the most powerful human because she has cosmic powers. Her DNA is mixed with a Kree, which we've seen before from Guardians movies, like the big blue people.
Right.
So I don't know how herself can still take on a 6-stoned Thanos. But listen, whatever works. We're getting reinforcements, so maybe this will bode hope for what we're going to go with Avengers 4. Avengers movie we still don't know the title to. I thought for sure we were going to get the title reveal in this movie. We didn't. You're not going to get it.
And thank goodness for that. Another great move.
Yeah, it just says Thanos will return at the end credits. It doesn't say the Avengers will return. That's how dire the situation is. The universe has been rewritten. Thanos has all 6. He's chilling in his own garden of Eden on a different planet. And he's accomplished it. It's over.
And I love that about this. I love that they didn't tell you what the next movie is going to be called. I love that the post-credit sequence didn't somehow undo all of the consequences. I love that it was, we present you with such an overwhelmingly powerful adversary that it seems impossible that you could possibly defeat him. They almost do, but they don't, because of course they don't, because it was impossible. And it ends with, oh yeah, he did exactly the thing that they said he was going to do and that he said he was going to do. He just did it. That is the end of the movie. I loved it. I loved it. It was the exact perfect antidote to all the, oh, let's make everything in this universe a joke. Everything's a yuck. There's no real tension in these movies. It was the perfect, oh, we put an end to that. Just like that. Just like that. Wow. It was good. It was very good. And right, it was random. Half the people, it affected everybody equally, could take anybody, and they meant it. They meant it.
Well, that's just because you like dark endings because you have a black heart. That's just you.
I am the knight, Colin. I am the knight.
Can I ask, when Thanos got stabbed and then he did the snap the fingers, and then he went to like, can you explain to me that scene where he sees young Gamora and is that like just a vision? Is he, do you understand what that meant? I didn't get what that was supposed to be.
Well, I mean, I feel like I understood what the meaning of it. I can't explain to you in the logic of that universe how it happened, if that's a vision or if that's him, through the various universal powers he now possesses, going to some kind of realm where that was quote unquote real. But it was, that was him confronting his conscience about it.
Because the way I interpreted it, because of how Gamora died and everything, I thought he somehow maybe got like inside the Soul Stone, or the Soul Stone was showing young Gamora because that's what he sacrificed, because it had an orange glow and the Soul Stone is orange. That's what I interpreted it as, but I don't know how that keeps him from being alive, from being stabbed in the heart. Like, how did he survive?
Oh, it definitely was independent of him having been stabbed.
Okay.
He survived because it's not an instant kill. It was not an instant kill, and he warps out of there, and he's okay, I guess.
He's got good healing powers, I guess.
Listen, he's got all six stones, and my understanding is it pretty much means he can do whatever he wants, including heal himself or whatever. So yeah, no, but that little scenelet with him and young Gamora is definitely him wrestling with his conscience about the act of doing it.
Yeah, for some reason I thought when he snapped his fingers he got transported somewhere or something happened, but then he was already just went right back to where he was. I'm like, okay, so nothing happened. He was just seeing something. I don't know.
Ultimately, given his massive unchecked cosmic powers, there's really no difference for him between just seeing something and having it have really happened.
Do you think also, when Doctor Strange gave him the Time Stone, he said no tricks or whatever, but he said that Tony, it was the only way, to do this. Do you think, did Strange, do you think, is this like part of a plan that he...
Oh, yes.
But you don't have any idea what it could be, how he could...
Oh, I have lots of ideas. Absolutely. Okay. I mean, I absolutely, if you're asking me, is that how this is all going to get undone? Yes, that's definitely how this is going to get undone.
Okay.
Because otherwise it didn't make any sense. He definitely didn't have to do it. It was not the only way. That's a nonsense line. And he's supposed to be a smart guy. Now, admittedly, in his movie, he does a lot of very not smart things for a, supposed to be some kind of world-class surgeon, smart dude. He does a lot of dumb things in his movie. So maybe this was just him being dumb. But I'm going to give this movie credit that they planned it for 10 years and he's not just being a moron when he says, it was the only way, when it obviously wasn't and everyone was telling him not to do it. So yes, I think that somehow there's a part of this plan about giving them a time stone where, and he knew in advance that it was basically impossible. So he had lots of time to make a plan.
One one outcome he saw. So that must be it. That must be it.
Right. But he's a doctor. He's not going to bet on 1 in 14 million. He's going to make a backup plan. And the backup plan being about the time stone makes a lot of sense. Because otherwise, why wouldn't he have had the time stone on him when he fought? Why would he have done this little gag where, oh, it's kind of hidden, but it's not, but I'm going to definitely give it to you at the slightest provocation of something that I knew would definitely happen? If you're going to hide it, let him kill all of you, and he needs to look for it again. If you're not going to hide it, keep it with you so that when he starts to win, you can reverse time like you did in your movie and take another crack at it, try it again, etc., using your time powers. So this is obviously some kind of a gag where we'll get to go back in time and somehow get out of the consequences of everybody in the universe being dead. But exactly how that will work, I don't know. But they definitely have a plan about it. I'm sure they do.
Oh, I'm sure they do too. I just didn't know.
It doesn't kick in Avengers 4. I hope it waits a couple movies. I hope we get to have a few movies where we get to play through the consequences of this without immediately undoing them. That would be great. This is going to be some new territory for these characters.
Well, we get Ant-Man and the Wasp, and we get Captain Marvel before Avengers 4 comes out. And I did appreciate that they addressed, because I was like, where's Hawkeye? Where's Ant-Man when this is going on? They did address where they were. I was satisfied with that. I just wish maybe they would do a cameo in the Wakanda battle. But that's
really not there. But where were they?
So when Cap was going to break them out of that prison in Civil War, they decided to take a deal with the government to keep their families safe. So they're they're basically under house arrest.
No, he said in this movie they couldn't take more house arrest, so they were doing something instead for the government. What were they doing?
They took a deal so that there was like no more criminal charges. Like their families wouldn't have to like be arrested too or something.
So I guess we'll have to see which one of them died when Thanos snapped his fingers. Will it be Ant-Man? Will it be the Wasp? Well, they've got their own movies coming out, so probably not either of them. Maybe the people who are keeping them under house arrest, so now they're free.
Yeah,
we'll have to find out. I mean, are they going to be after that happened, or are they going to be concurrent movies? Like this is what they were doing while that was going on.
The Marvel's not telling us so far. It could be happening at the same time. It could be happening after, and they're okay. Mm-hmm. We don't know yet. That'll be half the fun of finding out.
Okie-dokie.
But before we finish this spoiler review, going back to something we talked about in the non-spoiler part, just briefly. I was of the mind I wanted a little bit more just small character-to-character interaction. You thought there was quite a bit of that in this movie.
I did.
For me, the ones that only stood out to me that I thought were earned and actually quite good was like Gamora and Thanos. I thought they had some good scenes.
Several good scenes.
Thor and Rocket in his ship, when Rocket is actually not making any jokes and is actually saying, you've lost so much, you think you can keep going. And a little bit of when Tony, Peter, and Strange met Star-Lord, Drax, and Mantis. That was good humor, but also with coming up with the plan. I thought that was well done. But I thought there was still a lot that was missing. Like I didn't think we didn't get nearly enough like Cap reuniting with Bucky, a rehabilitated Bucky. He just said, "Oh hi, I'm okay again. Okay, we're moving on." Just not enough there. Black Widow and Hulk, if they were gonna make that thing, they just see each other and go, "Oh hi, and it's never talked about again.
Heavily implied, but you're right. Never talked about again.
Even Tony and Steve. I thought for sure this is the movie. This movie they would finally mend the fence, or at least attempt to mend the fence. He'd reach out. Nothing.
Different planets the whole time.
Still no contact. Still no interaction. And I'm just
but you've left out the most important one that was in the movie, which is Star-Lord and Gamora, and him having to pull the trigger because she made him promise to kill her, which was like beautifully done.
I'm saying that wasn't a small character moment. That was a big dramatic,
that was a heart-to-heart conversation just between the two of those characters. That's what we're talking about.
It was fine, but it's not something we've seen tons of scenes with them before. This was anything like that different. So I just didn't think we got as much. But I'm going to give you the floor. Which interactions did you like that were so good on your end?
Well, I just said Star-Lord and Gamora, which I liked very much.
Okay.
I thought that I thought that you got a lot of interesting character development through those scenes. I thought that the scenes between the flying computer
Vision.
And what's her face, Vision and Scarlet Witch were very lovely. Names are not my thing. I am the knight. Between Vision and Scarlet Witch, those were really nicely done. And of course, right, he asked her to kill him. She can't do it. Really nicely paralleled with Star-Lord really struggling, but eventually being able to pull the trigger, although it, of course, has no effect.
They do both kind of do it.
Well, then at the end, she is finally able to do it with a lot more coaxing, brilliantly, which makes it all the more beautiful and painful when Thanos can just, nope, no, you didn't. Yeah. It was a great moment in that movie.
I was wondering when it was
moment.
Like, that would be the time. Yeah, that would be the time.
Yeah. And of course, also the moment where you go, okay, so this is definitely some kind of a plan, because why would you give him that? If that allows him to do that, you could have done that, Doc, in the previous scene. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I thought it was enough. I wasn't expecting a million. I think it would have been bloated if you put too many more of those in there. There were already a lot of moments where people are meeting each other for the first time. Oh, this nation of Wakanda exists. Let's go there. Oh, this is Bucky. Oh, what's going on here? Some amazing moments like when the head of the Royal Guard, Scarlet Witch, pops in and just does this amazing move with Space Thresher. I don't know what else to call it. She's like, what? Why wasn't she here the whole time? Why was she up there? She's the best one. Some great, or even just when she and Scarlett Johansson are gonna face off with the blue horn chick. Great little scene. Great little scenelet. She's not alone. I love, it elevated from just a dumb action moment into at least a character action moment. Really nice.
And that's fine. I just wish I had more character moments like that weren't integrated into the action, like precursing it or after it.
Okay.
Just, and that maybe that's just me. That's what I thought Avengers 2 did best, when they're all fighting amongst each other, or they're talking and they don't see eye to eye, but they compromise and they do stuff like that, and then they go fight. That's I think a little bit better to me.
And I can't believe that I'm arguing against that, because normally I would have completely agree with that. And I agree with you about that in the first two movies. But this movie, the stakes were so serious that it would have felt very, very weird if they had not been fighting. Like, oh, well, now we'll take a break to have a discussion. Like, the universe is ending. Like, no, there's no time for any of that. And I thought the movie wisely didn't give us that, because if that scene had actually happened, the whole time you just would have been yelling, like, go fight him. If you have time to take a break, he's not that big a threat. So I thought they did a nice job of, they found time for it without making the movie 4 hours long. It's certainly long enough. We don't need to add a bunch of extra talking scenes. They had a tough job ahead of them, and frankly, if the ending wasn't so great, that might have bothered me more too. But the ending is so great. I don't care. I don't care about that stuff.
I could have handled, I could have done at most 10 more minutes if they wanted to do more character moments. Just because it took so long for Thanos to get to Earth, I thought, well, actually, you do have the time. He doesn't get here until there's 20 minutes left. So you could have done something potentially, but I understand your point. There were other parts of Thanos' army there. Okay, no time.
Space sucks.
So I guess that's it for the MCU. No, not really, but
half of it. Exactly half of it.
Exactly half of it. Ant-Man and the Wasps. Still. And
now it makes sense why I'm wearing this, because this was definitely this movie is what the DC movies should have been. Dark, but quality films, instead of dark garbage films filled with nonsense and terrible acting and no character moments and just garbage.
Also because nothing was built up over 10 years. They took the time, the chess pieces were aligned, and now it's take the queen, take the bishop.
The DC universe has built up all kinds of crap. It's just all crap. It's just all not good at all.
Except for
Wonder Woman.
There we go. Okay, just making sure.
Definitely.
Oh, her name
may be Superman, Wonder Woman. Great.
All right.
Let's hope that Justice League doesn't completely ruin that. But that's a topic for a different video. If you stuck with us this long,
we're sorry.
No, we're not. I'm not. I'm sorry for him. But no, I think we're all here because this was a great movie, you guys. This was a good movie. I know that I'm looking forward to seeing it again.
Yeah, I got to see it in IMAX. I didn't see it in IMAX this time. I have to see it in IMAX. I want to see what that's going to be like. Oh, boy. Yes.
Yeah, that was a mistake. You should definitely do that.
Yes.
So anyway, thanks for joining us for a really tremendous, exhausting episode of Inside Voices First Takes. I, as always, have been Adam Rubin.
And I am still Colin Binnig.
And we can't tell you how much we appreciate you watching these. If you had thoughts about the movie, please do comment down below and let us know what you thought. Maybe you agree with Colin, there should have been more character moments. Maybe you don't like, maybe you're mad about the ending and not thrilled to death about it like me. We want to hear from you, and especially if you have thoughts about which movie you want us to review next, let us know, because we're here to give you our feedback, and we would love your feedback too. If this is helpful, any comments you have, let us know. So with that being said, we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
#Hulk lives. Yes.